oh, there's Kizaru. I already knew this nigga Luffy was airborne. And seeing him not say a word and him passing by the camera with a smile on his face, you could see it for a second.
Demon time,
like Kizaru talk, and he's like, long time no see. And then you just hear the OST cut out straight to Luffy speed blitzing him, hitting the kick so fast that I think Kizaru was dead ass trying to escape here, but it was too quick for even him to react to. You could tell Luffy's been charging this shit up from the day this nigga was talking his shit on Saturday. Like the way he said Kizaru and the smile to it, like he has many, like Luffy has a couple different smiles, and this looks like the smile of someone who's been waiting for this
exactly, bro. There's a couple niggas that Luffy gonna have that smile for. Him. Gear 5 Luffy humbles a senior citizen. Yeah, boy. See, whoever's animating One Piece, them boys is goddamn putting their foot in it. Boy, them niggas came back with a vengeance. They took a 6-month break, took a vacation, laid up on the beach, smoked some blunts, came back. Went to work. That boy Luffy said, pew. Nigga, it's like he turned himself into a ball, gathered all that kinetic energy, put it into his foot, coated in hockey, and kicked the shit out of motherfucking Kizaru. I was like, nigga. Saying like the island, nigga. We 100 times stronger now. I said, oh, okay. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh, perfect spot.
What's going on, young bull? Long time no. Don't you think that's kind of rude? I just got this suit. Kizaru, I've been salivating to fight your old ass. Remember when you snuck us back in Saturday? We've been in the lab, so we're 100 times stronger now. And I can't wait to knock the cobwebs off your raggedy, old, dusty, fossilized ass head. Yeah, so out of all the videos I've done on my channel, I've never really done one where I talked about like One Piece. Like I've obviously had my reactions and I would talk briefly about it on there, but I've never really sat down and talked about it in the same way I've been talking about all these other shows. And I was kind of absent from watching One Piece week to week for a minute, even while they were on that hiatus. I didn't really take the time to catch up till just recently. And the last couple episodes up until recently reminded me why this is the greatest piece of fiction to ever touch God's green earth. Because we started 11:25 with Kizaru pulling right up on Sentomaru's block, but he stomped that right foot down and he was standing on his shit. And I could see why he had to leave on Egghead, considering his geometry and anatomy. I feel like it gives his powers a bit of an amp. And these two had a little good scuffle, I'm not gonna lie. And you could tell that Kizaru back in his prime, he had a roster of at least 10. Because the way he operates is very Sung Jin-woo-esque, where it was like he didn't want to get a scratch on his clothing. And before we get into their little one-on-one, I did just want to mention really quick that the Vice Admirals were also pulling up on the island, defeating these sea beasts, and I don't really care about them. I just want to mention one, this gentleman right here with the head, which has a similar consistency and shape to a doo-doo I took earlier, ripples, creases, and all. And number two, I just wanted to mention this other Vice Admiral who looks like a girl you probably find working at either Hot Topic, Zoomies, or the Van store, who dress in a somewhat intimidating way, but when you get to know them, they're one of the nicest people ever, but they can still pack a punch. I feel like this is exactly who this woman is. Back to this Sentomaru humiliation ritual almost. Kizaru was stunting on this nigga. And in this shot here, he even had the cameraman lost for a second. He had him looking left, and then this nigga already crossed over to the right side. And you could tell that back in his prime, he was at the roller rinks, stepping in the name of love every weekend from dawn till dusk, in this sly-ass maneuver like this. I
ain't gonna lie though, yeah, you got a point there. Now that I think about it, yeah, that nigga was skating. That nigga was putting on a show, nigga. He had to let the old boy know, like, nigga, I'm the nigga that taught you, remember? You ain't ready for me yet.
In that one roller skating move where you're kind of nonchalantly moonwalking to the beat of the song. I don't know how people do that, and if I was doing that, I'd fracture my arm. But you could just, I just know with how he presents himself, how he talks, how he walks, and how he smells, that they knew him by name at his local spot. And they probably didn't even call his ass by his government name either. Because he had the light fruit, they probably called him some smooth shit like luminescence or radiance. I just have a feeling that's what his past was looking like. And he hit Sentomaru with a Muay Thai kick so hard that it changed the animation style briefly. And he had this man running for his life. And I really forget how formidable Sentomaru is, because we haven't really seen him like that since Sabaody. Even though Kizaru clearly outmatches him, you can see what he could bring to the game, and he was still kind of hanging with him for what it's worth. But no, so we learned the backstory of Sentomaru and Kizaru and the reason why he calls him uncle and stuff like that. And it looks like Kizaru used to be a nice guy before he got corrupted by the higher ups of the world. And we see him reminiscing mid-battle as Sentomaru's charging up a mean-ass 5-star, and we see him bang his ass with that sumo strike and blood kind of splatters, so I'm thinking he got a hit off on him. But we see he blocked it with his hand because, again, you know how he is. He cannot get a scratch on those Versace sunglasses or else all hell's gonna break loose. And he special beam cannons him point blank. But after he shoots a hole through Sentomaru's 3-layer cake, we see Vegapunk and everyone else back at home base trying to get through York's 2-factor authentication. And we see Rob Lucci here. I already knew this was red flag. I don't know why they didn't have this nigga hog tie.
You ain't lying, boy. That nigga Rob was plotting over there. You could tell that nigga was plotting. Moment that nigga got the chance, boy, that nigga's like... Good thing, goddamn, Stussy was watching. She was like, nigga, I know this nigga plotting over there, so I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Or something, because you could see it in his face that he was plotting some diabolical shit. And as soon as he caught a whiff of Kizaru's Versace cologne coming in hot, he interrupted Stussy's tea time, which is already a crime in itself. That's like 5 years behind bars at least. And he blitzes Vegapunk trying to execute him, and Stussy takes that finger pistol. And seeing how strong that one finger was and how much damage it did to Stussy, I know Lucci's past situationships and relationships probably think about this nigga on a daily basis with the amount of strength his fingers have. But no, so he added about 5 more inches of depth to Stussy's belly button. And Sanji, surprisingly enough, doesn't aggro onto him and attempts to take his head off with a Diablo Jumble, but instead gets Nami's bubble gun and goes straight for Kaku to imprison him in the bubble, which I saw people getting upset about on Twitter, saying that, like, knowing the type of person Sanji is, he would have usually just attacked Lucci head on, like right out the gate. But I feel like him going straight to Kaku was kind of the smartest thing to do in that moment. I personally feel.
I know, right? I was thinking the same thing too. Like, what? He didn't just blick that nigga, but he actually did the smart play. He's actually learning. He's learning. He grabbed that gun and locked that nigga up real quick. Like, nah, nigga, it ain't finna be 2, nigga. It's 1v1. But Zoro was on that nigga head, boy.
I feel like, because you have to remember who else we're with. The man who wields 3 swords, but if he's feeling freaky one day, make that shit 4. And he's straight on time and blitzes that nigga. So you got some backup coming in. You think you could act all hard now? That was some pussy ass shit, nigga, and you know it. Between Kizaru and me, this shit's GG's, grass top. Man, you ain't really about that shit. Stop playing with me, bruh. And we see Zoro somehow thrusting forward through the wall, and then he took their shit outside where they had the space to actually run a proper one-on-one. So we'll be seeing that soon enough. But I'm gonna be honest, as subtle as this shit was, this may have been one of Luffy's best moments, at least post-time skip. Because Kizaru saw that robot strutting away, and he's taking aim. And it's like, once I saw the focus on Bonnie and Frankie talking about, oh, there's Kizaru, I already knew this nigga Luffy was airborne. And seeing him not say a word, and him passing by the camera with a smile on his face, you could see it for a second.
Demon time, nigga.
Kizaru talk, and he's like, long time no see. And then you just hear the OST cut out straight to Luffy speed blitzing him, hitting the kick so fast that I think Kizaru was deadass trying to escape here, but it was too quick for even him to react to. You could tell Luffy's been charging this shit up from the day this nigga was talking his shit on Sabaody. Like, the way he said Kizaru and the smile to it, like, he has many, like, Luffy has a couple different smiles, and this looks like the smile of someone who's been waiting for this
exactly, bro. There's a couple niggas that Luffy gonna have that smile for. Him, 1. That molten lava nigga, 2. Motherfucking Blackbeard, 3. And the biggest smile of all, Shanks. Those are the ones he's got to run that he's gonna be like, yeah, I've been itching to get this fight off. The one with Shanks might be a little bit more. It ain't gonna be that demon looking, but it's gonna be there because gotta settle it once and for all.
Moment. He dead ass kept receipts about the shit. So I mean, after that happened, I thought
nigga, that nigga, he thought all his niggas was dead.
Fight of the year type of thing, which I feel like it wasn't. But I do feel like next week, when the next episode comes out, the preview for that was looking good. Because we came into this episode with a lot of Kuma backstory and how after he got rescued from the Revolutionary Army, he kind of got out of his confines and then sent his ass back to Mary Joy, had an altercation with the Kainu, and then sent himself flying again to who knows where. I'm assuming that he's going to Egghead. I feel like that would be the only logical answer. Like, I feel like maybe something snapped in his head and he got a sense of himself back or something like that. But that aside, we get back to Luffy and Kizaru and we see Luffy and Snake Man for the first time since his boxing match with Katakuri. And he's just letting it unload on this geezer as he should. Like, obviously this isn't his trump card, but he just has to show him what he's been working with these last couple of years. Because again, it's like Kizaru is the type of dude that still thinks a post fade is the most effective way to score the basketball. But this is the next generation and we're shooting threes from every wooden plank from behind the arc. It doesn't matter where. And Luffy paid homage to Kobe here and he hit a Gumma Gum Black Mamba. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how the fuck this nigga Kizaru was so durable. Like, we see him getting bombarded and I guess he's doing his light refracting glass defensive technique, I don't know, but like, this nigga's playing defense like the Thompson twins and it seems like he is very serious about not getting his drip tarnished or anything. Boy, you're a pirate. Why do you want to protect Vegapunk? He's basically your enemy. Why don't you just do what you stinky little pirates usually do and ruin everything you touch? Kill him, take him hostage. What makes this so different? Man, you tell me. What the fuck are y'all on Apple Bottom's dick for? Man, OG, I told you I'm not the same kid I was 2 years ago. I'm not playing these stupid ass games with you. Check this square up. Say one more dumb thing and I'll show you the light of the heavens. Since you're knocking on death's door anyway, you geriatric sack of shit. Since you're so concerned, why don't you try and kill him? It's not that I want to, young bull. I really don't want to kill him. I've known that brother for a long time. So with respect to me and my drip, I'd appreciate it if you stayed out of this. Yeah, and we see Kizaru hit a sweet chin music of doom and had Luffy looking like he did back in the day when he used to run out of time on his Gear 4 and he would blow away like a balloon. He had him looking the same exact way, but he splits that robot in two. And after setting everything ablaze, he has a little interaction with Bonnie where then she tries to attack him and he sends her to the fucking moon. Hello, control room? Frankie, are you okay? I just heard a big explosion over there just now, homeboy. You good? Usopp, is everyone all good? Yeah. Oh, thank goodness. He's not there yet. What do you mean? Who's not here yet? Got it. The deactivation code with the two-factor authentication for the defense system is cracked.
See how we did it.
Hey York, fuck you, you trifling ass bitch. Betraying ass hoe. That password defense shit you tried on us nigga stunk. How about that?
Hey, Usopp. Are you listening to me? There's no time to spare. My fault, Frank. What's the matter? Frankie couldn't. We could deactivate the barrier at any time. Just let me know. We got the green light. This shit's a lock. Nothing could really stop us now. Like, I just cracked the code. I'm really like that. I already knew I was the world's best scientist, but this is just another section of my resume. I'm really like that, Frank. But that aside, you moved the Vega Force 01 and the ship to the backside like I told you? Well, no, because it doesn't matter. Just y'all get out of there, please. Yada, does it? It's looking like this shit is GG's. Vegapunk. But no, yeah, so we see Kizaru
that nigga pulled up on their ass.
Dusty's on life support with Chopper. Everything's out of control. And we see from the clouds above the Looney Tune eyes. So obviously we see Gear 5 is activated and Luffy's tweaking out. And we can see Kizaru kind of hearing the rigmarole going on outside with Luffy's shit. But somehow this nigga was able to turn the Colossal Titan size and still sneak him. Grabbing his ass like he was an action figure he just bought from Target. And when this part came out in the manga, I saw a lot of people posting about it and I saw this panel and I will say that I feel like just based off how the show is, maybe they could have like used like a 0.5 lens for this scene to show the size difference a little bit better, because from this angle it's almost hard to like read the scene properly because it almost looks like Luffy is still the same size as everyone but not at the same time. I don't really know how to explain it, but still, him doing this, even if this doesn't result in a Kizaru ass beating, he did need to kind of humble him a little bit to show that he is indeed hanging with him and he's close to him. And now granted, Kizaru did give him his props earlier when he was just in Gear 4 saying he understood why he was able to beat Kaido, but still with how arrogantly Kizaru struts around this world, like someone had to do this and I'm glad it's our main man. And the last little portion of this episode we see is Luffy and the giant robot that's kind of in the ruins on Egghead. It was kind of transitioning back and forth between them. We're at the end.
Yeah, that robot was like, oh, Joy Boy? That's you, my boy? And nigga woke up like, oh, my boy Joy Boy. God damn, boy, it's been a minute, boy. Yeah, let me wake up and act a fool with you real quick.
See his eyes lighten up. So when I was watching, I was assuming it was maybe similar to how like Zunisha could kind of sense that Joy Boy has returned. I feel like this is also a relic from that era, and then since they just destroyed that robot, maybe they'll now use that to transport the ship. I feel like that kind of makes sense now I'm talking about it and saying the shit out loud. But no, I mean, those were 2 really good episodes, and the preview for next week looks like it's going to be that really thin-lined animation, and that they're actually going to box in that. We're going to see some Zoro and Lucci action too, so I mean, I think this is going to be a good little week. So next week I may have to bring the suit out again. I don't know, it's looking that way. But no, so that's it for this week. I will be doing a review on the next episode. I think the next video I want to do, it'll probably be out after next week's One Piece episode, just because I feel like it's going to be a bit more lengthy. But I'm going to do a Devil May Cry video based on the anime, and I was thinking of maybe starting that game on the second channel, but I also need to start God of War 2, so I plan on doing both of those. Maybe I'll stream them or do something around those lines. And in regards to the Fire Force videos, I think I'm gonna take a little break on those for the moment, just because the season, while it is not slow, I feel like the climax of the season has to be built up a little bit too. So when we are getting closer,
that's fair.
Those points, I'll continue doing those videos again. But I did want to get some One Piece going and some other shows this season as well, like the Windbreakers and, as I said, Devil May Cry and stuff like that. So we'll see. But road to 100K, 2,000 away. Appreciate y'all for watching. Sub to this channel and the second channel, and that's it. And without further ado, on to the next one.
I'm surprised he didn't touch tap that in on that. But anyway, shout out to the boy Jules Dot for dropping the video. Hit the like on that video. Boy does good breakdowns. Good breakdowns.